In today's episode of Homestead How, everything is changing in 2022 with some big announcements for you on the homestead. Gary here from Homestead How. Welcome to our homestead. We have some really exciting news for you. Huge changes for 2022 on the homestead, and it finally warmed up here. We hit almost 30 degrees today. We're going to take a walk down to the front of our property. Katie's going to go first. And we're going to tell you about our big plans for 2022. So, the first thing is, we just bought a wood cook stove. Our Amish friends we went to have dinner with have one of these, and it's a wood-powered stove, and it'll go for 12 hours. You fill it up, and it'll run for 12 hours. Our wood stove we have now goes for 2 or 3 hours. So we put a down payment on this wood cook stove, and it's coming in like 2 or 3 weeks. But the big news is, I'm really excited about this. We're gonna build a pioneer-style cabin on our property. It's like everything is coming together where it just makes sense. Like, you should be doing this. We live on a 20-acre pine forest. On the front of our property, we have a foundation that the former owners put on this property. It's a cement foundation, and I believe they were going to build a log cabin there. We're going to build a log cabin there, and we're going to start doing it very soon on Homestead How, hopefully with your guys' help, because as you know, we're rookies from the city, so we're kind of learning as we go, and we want to take you with us for this adventure. We've done tons of building projects on our homestead before, but I've never done anything with logs, and it's a big challenge. It requires a lot of craftsmanship to be able to make like a saddle notch in the log and to be able to plan it out, and it's a lot of heavy lifting. The good news is we're really good friends now with an Amish family, and their son, I'm really good buddies with. I've spent a bunch of time with him. He's the ultimate homesteader. He can hunt, he can do woodworking, they grow all of their own food. He works on a logging crew, and they actually use horses to do their logging. It's so interesting. I talked with him on Thursday, and he invited me to come with his crew, and I was just thinking, why not have him come here? We have to start thinning some of our trees because the baby trees are growing up so thick they have nowhere to grow. And we got to clear out some of the mature trees to make room for some of the other trees. So I'm hoping to have my buddy and his crew come out here with horses and log a bunch of these trees, pull the trees out of the woods, and then use those logs on our log cabin. And we want to build a pioneer-style log cabin that is authentic to 200 years ago. So it's going to have an old Amish cook stove in it, and it's going to have furniture from the era. It's going to have 200-year-old cookbooks in it, little spice jars, everything. It's going to be like a museum and stepping back into the past. Why am I building this property? Because I want to be more off-grid, and this is a perfect way to do it. We have the foundation here, but we want to get it built, and we want to do it in the pioneer style with all of the furnishings and objects in it from that era. I'm also hoping that my friend, who's kind of like a pioneer, a modern day pioneer, is going to help and help us build this pioneer log cabin. That would be absolutely amazing. This is the book I mentioned. It's called How to Build and Furnish a Log Cabin, the easy, natural way using hand tools and the woods around you. And this book is so cool. I've almost read the whole thing here in 2 days because I can't put it down. It's got some really good illustrations, but 1939 was the copyright, and there's just some awesome illustrations in here, right here. I have a bunch of those hand tools, but I don't have all of them. The ice tongs are interesting. If you watch our channel, I used the ice tongs with my Amish friend a couple weeks back when he took me with him ice harvesting. And we got 180-pound blocks of ice out of the pond. We use those ice tongs. Well, you can use those for logging also. This is the big tool that I don't have yet, a one-man cross-cut saw. So there's a lot of tools and supplies and equipment we're going to need. It's going to be really expensive. This is going to be our wood-fired stove that's going to go in our pioneer cabin. These are the 2 books. Why do I have 2 that I purchased? I purchased 2 of these because I'm gifting one of them to my friend. It's like it was meant to be. We just happen to have a foundation on the front of our property. We didn't even know that foundation was here when we purchased the property. It wasn't until the snow cleared that first year that we realized, hey, there's a foundation down here. We're going to learn so much through this process, and we think you guys will learn a lot too. And one of the ways that you can help, if you're interested in helping, is if you have any of these logging hand tools, like a big crosscut saw or axe or a cant hook, things like that that I don't have. Maybe you have some sitting in your basement that you're interested in donating for this project. We'd really appreciate it. We'll leave the address and some info in the description below. The other big way is we just set up our Patreon account. Patreon.com/homesteadhow. It's for us building a pioneer log cabin. It's going to be a huge expense and a lot of time and a lot of effort. And with the help of Patreon, we should be able to afford to do this project. Otherwise, I don't think we're going to be able to do it. And if you're not familiar with Patreon, please check out the link in the description below. It's kind of like a membership deal. So you can sign up, you can pay, for example, $2 a month to help support this project so that we can continue it and we can buy the tools and we can spend the time needed and we can hire the crew that we needed to help with the logging. We'll be able to afford it through Patreon, and in return you get all sorts of extra content that no one else is going to get. So one thing is you'll get access to every Pioneer Cabin build video we do 24 hours before anyone else will. We're also going to put up members only content in Patreon that no one else is going to get unless you're a Patreon member. There's going to be behind the scenes footage. There's going to be FAQs. We're going to have live streams and live chats, VIP access through Patreon. So there's a lot of perks for signing up through Patreon. And frankly, we're not going to be able to do this project unless we get some support through Patreon.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it, especially when we went to go meet our friends. They cooked everything on their cook stove like that, and it was absolutely amazing to see, so I'm really excited to get it. I cook a lot of bread, so it's going to be neat to see how kind of they did it back in the old days.
All right, so right there is the corner of a foundation. The former owners put a foundation down. I don't know what their plans were or what happened, but that's the corner of the foundation. And we're going to build a pioneer-style cabin here in 2022. All right, quick update. The other day, I went to our Amish friend's house, knocked on the door. They're just the nicest people in the world. He's like, "Oh, Carrie, you're here. Come on in." And they invited me in. And I told them that I'm interested in working with their son, who is a logger. They log with the horses on an Amish logging crew. I was interested in having him come over and give me an estimate for helping me log a bunch of trees in preparation to build our pioneer log cabin and to bring his horses over. One thing he told me that was really exciting is they just got a portable sawmill on their crew, and their son is actually working it. Their son is like the most impressive kid I've ever met. I think he's like 20, 22 years old. He speaks multiple language, Pennsylvania Dutch, German, English. He was a teacher, he's a woodworker, he's a hunter. They grow all their own food. Literally the ultimate homesteaders. And they cut down trees, and now he operates a portable sawmill. So he's going to be coming over here soon. I'm waiting to hear from them. I'm going to stop over there again and drive them over here and figure out how we can get this whole project kicked off. Jen and I have also reached out to some companies, including this one, Logox. They make a 3-in-1 forestry multi-tool for log cabin work. Let's see if you can see that on there. So for carrying the logs, for turning the logs over, you got to turn the log over and do the saddle notch, you got to put it back, you got to adjust it. They sell some of these tools. We reached out to them and they're going to be working with us, and we're going to get some of their tools in some of the future videos. So we're really excited to get this started. If you're interested in participating or helping out, we need a lot of these hand tools still. And please check out our Patreon account that I mentioned earlier in the video. Thanks a lot for watching. Here's some of our favorite photographs we took on and around our homestead this week.